Hi, my name is Dr. Patricia Murugami. Welcome to Your Next Best Self. I know you might be wondering, who's this Dr. Patricia Murugami? Well, I'm a leadership catalyst, a leadership coach, an educator on matters to do with life, leadership, love, and legacy. And I hope that as you start to listen in and practice some of the leadership insights we'll be sharing here, you'll begin to see your next best self. Welcome back to Your Next Best Self podcast with me, Dr. Patricia Murugami. I know we've taken a long break thinking about how we can serve you better. We've received a lot of great feedback, and now you can be sure from now on, you'll be receiving regular podcasts from me to you to help you become your next best self. So it's interesting. Of late, I've had a lot of clients and leaders lamenting to me how they have to keep pushing their team and they have to keep monitoring. And now with teams that are remote workers, hybrid workers, it gets so much harder to be micromanaging. And I was telling them there must be another solution to that. So just the other day, I was passing through a small town here in Kenya. And as I passed through it, all of a sudden we couldn't really move. And I wondered what's going on. And the path is fairly narrow. And there was this young man who was pushing a wheelbarrow. And on the wheelbarrow were big jars, plastic jars of water. And I marveled at how in the hot 3 o'clock sun, he was actually pushing, pulling, pushing, but now he had to stop so as to reclaim his energy. First, I was so impressed by the fact that this young man is taking his work so seriously. Secondly, I just wondered what kind of strength, mental and physical, do you need to actually push jars of water, multiple jars of water, so as to get them to your destination and perhaps sell that water to a number of families who are struggling to source the water. So as I watched him, I then saw some young children, primary children, 3-4 of them were walking just on the side of the road, and they passed him. And as they passed him, I could hear the older sister saying, "We need to walk faster." And she was speaking in Kiswahili. And she said, "We need to walk faster so that we can get home, so that I can get some water, and I'll cook as you clean, and we do our homework, and we wash our uniform so it dries before mommy gets home, so that we ensure that we are ready for tomorrow." And I looked at her, and she probably wasn't older than 10 years old. And I looked at her siblings, and they were nodding and walking very fast in that hot sun, possibly to a small roomed house, and which they called home, but with such pride of purpose that they needed to do what they needed to do without being told and reminded by their mother, and to ensure that by the time their mom, who possibly would be getting home late from some manual work or from work that really took a lot from her, they would make her proud. So today I want to ask you, how are you managing your team? Are you managing your team using a wheelbarrow mindset, which means you have to push them, and when you stop pushing them, nothing happens? Like that young man, when he stopped, his wheelbarrow could not move forward. He had to then get his energy and push it again. Or are you managing your team by a self-management mindset? In other words, does each member of your team, we're already in the second month of the year, do they have clarity about their personal goals and how they connect to the organizational goals? Because when they have clear clarity, and it is said that clarity is power, then they can then push themselves. And you don't have to do the pushing, because someone already has an inner motivation to do their work, because they know, when I hit this target, this is what I will end up achieving. This is what I will purchase or invest in my personal life. And the business is growing at the same time. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, this year, if you are managing one person, even managing yourself, managing a team, managing 50, hundreds, an entire organization, maybe you want to have a chat with us. I'm excited about the opportunities we have to enable many leaders move from wheelbarrow leadership to self-management leadership. Because when you are able to help your team, and sometimes you can't do it, you can't walk them through the goal setting of their personal goals because there's a power distance. And this is where people like us at Breakthrough Leadership Transformation come in. But more than that, I want to encourage you this year to challenge yourself. If you have a wheelbarrow mindset, which means you push yourself, you're constantly procrastinating, you're constantly not doing what it is that you ought to do, remember that life and time is a gift. So get on with it. Get on with it. Put aside the challenges of, I can't do that, and ask yourself, where do I start? Piece by piece. And ultimately, you will find that those tasks and those projects that you've been struggling with, you're able to achieve completion successfully, but at the same time in a way that makes not only yourself proud, but the people who rely on you, who work with you, and who are watching you in one way or the other. So ask yourself, do I have a wheelbarrow mindset or a self-management mindset? If I can shift and move to self-management and the way I manage my team, my organization, it'll make a world of a difference for you. Let it be said that it was like it was said many years ago, and it's been quoted many times, so allow me to repeat. A person who was actually cleaning a part of the NASA offices was asked, so what do you do here? And as he was sweeping with such spirit of excellence, he said, I'm helping NASA get someone onto the moon. And I thought to myself, that is clear clarification of the personal work to the organizational work. It is so important that you know why you do what you do and how it connects to your personal and organizational goals. I can't overemphasize how once that clarity is there, you will be amazed at how your team will grow, will achieve its targets. And if there are any consequences or rewards, make sure you put in those systems. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Don't have a wheelbarrow mindset. Have a self-management mindset. And in fact, on that note, I have to say something. This year, we decided that so many people ask me for mentorship. And I feel bad that I can't access everyone personally, but that's just a limitation of time and space. So we are using technology, and from this year, actually last month, we launched the Africa Risers Network. I want to encourage you, if you're struggling to keep your momentum up, if you're wondering how to truly become your next best self, wherever you are in the world, you can join my Telegram network. And this network, our goal is to give you insights, wisdom, tips, have conversations every day for 365 days for Kenya shillings 2,500, which is just under $25. Visit my website, www.drpatriciamurugami.com, drpatriciamurugami.com, and sign up to the Africa Risers Network. In fact, we're going to start the book club, and you don't want to be that person who doesn't read and is only going through social media. I see you. You consider reading Twitter reading? That's not reading. If you really want to elevate and become your next best self, join us together with your friends, your friend group, your colleagues, your parents, your children. Anyone who's above 18 can actually begin to learn the lessons that we need to thrive, not only survive, in this never normal era. Thank you.